Freedom of the press is a fundamental cornerstone of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's reform project, which represents a firm commitment to the freedom of opinion and expression in Bahrain, and reflects a constantly developing democracy. Journalists, media personnel, and intellectuals all have a crucial role in promoting national progress and prosperity through constructive criticism and close follow-up with both local, Arab, and international issues. Several reforms and modernization of media and press strides were successfully achieved over the past years as stipulated in the Constitution, the National Action Charter, and the law on the press and publishing. And to talk more about that, we are joined here at the Summit's Media Center by Secretary and International Relations of the Board of Directors of Bahrain Journalists Association, the BGA, member of the Executive Bureau of the International Federation of Journalists, IFJ, Mr Rashid Nabil AlHamar. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi Khalid, I'm very pleased to be here with you on this historical day.
Thank you so much for joining us again. And the Kingdom of Bahrain has seen a lot of development recently. And under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, there have been many strides, particularly in the fields of human interest and development. What can you tell us about that?
In the beginning, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome to Bahrain all of the guests that are attending for this summit, to wish them great hospitality in Bahrain and a pleasant stay, and wish them success in the summit. Since the beginning of His Majesty King Hamad Al Khalifa's ascension to the throne in 1999, we have seen long strides in the realm of media and press freedom. Definitely the journalism has been a cornerstone or a strategic pillar of the National Action Charter. It has been one of the most important parts in progressing the community forward, in having a very open society. In order to have progress, you need to have freedom of press and a transparent journalism in order to showcase all the upcoming legislations, in order to bring forward positive change. And it's important also for us to focus on keeping a positive narrative, the positive narrative that helps drive forward change in our kingdom, change to the better, for the better good of everybody.
Very brilliantly said. I mean, journalism, as you said, is a field that is so massive and it's always evolving with the times, you know, as most nations do as well. And like, it's really good to see that, especially here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. We have so many avenues. There's a lot of, like you said, transparency. So basically everybody's getting their news as it is, and like you said, that positive narrative in order to basically foster the sense of fraternity between everyone. Now, you know, like I was saying earlier, journalism is ever evolving. How do you see the future of journalism in the Arab world?
Future of journalism in the Arab world, or in the whole world, is prosperous. I think there are many transformational changes happening in the journalistic field. There are many tools that are coming up day by day. We are seeing the introduction of artificial intelligence. Another thing that's calming for us is the youth. The youth journalists who are entering the field are very well educated. They have very good language skills, writing skills, and able to communication skills, even and able to deliver the message forward. I think that the introduction of technology tools, artificial intelligence, will definitely help increase the amount of content produced from our region. Also, it will make it much easier to be able to produce a higher quality. What we see going on digitally also lowers the barrier to entry to the market, which will allow us to increase the output of journalistic material in Bahrain.
I think what you said is very well said, particularly about breaking down that barrier. And I think, especially here in the Kingdom of Bahrain, we have so many tools available to us, right? In order to make sure that we can progress, we can develop our skills. And you know, on that note, the Kingdom of Bahrain has seen a lot of development recently. Yeah. And under the leadership of His Majesty the King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the general governance of the Kingdom of Bahrain, we've seen a lot of developments across various fields, and that's actually earned us, I think, very fittingly and very naturally, the privilege of hosting the 33rd Arab Summit. Can you tell us a little bit what that means for the Kingdom of Bahrain?
It's a very important honor for Bahrain to host the Arab League Summit. This is the second time Bahrain gets the chairmanship and the first time to be hosted on our land in Bahrain. It's only a natural progress after we've seen how the Bahraini diplomacy has worked under the leadership of His Majesty the King. We have seen the Bahraini diplomacy machine working very active regionally and internationally. Bahrain has been able to position itself properly on the global sphere. Our small size and geography has not stopped us from earning the position we deserve, and we sit on the table side by side by major nations playing an important role, helping in shaping a better future for everybody in the region and around the globe.
Very well said. And like we can see around us, I mean, clearly there is a lot of effort. It's been very meticulously done. Everything's been given its due consideration. As we can see here in the media center, everyone's super excited. Everyone is at work. You know, you can really feel the excitement. It's very palpable in the air. What do you think the provisions of like the media center and all of its facilities means for all of the Arab journalists joining us from around the world? What do you think their impression is?
I think the host committee has done a great job in preparing a proper media center that's able to accommodate more than 250 journalists from all around the world and the Arab region mainly, providing them the latest technological advancement, high-speed internet, video editing suites, providing them press kits with high-resolution images and videos, live feeds of most of the events that are happening, providing them background information to be able to work. Us being part of the press and media, we consider ourselves as an integral part of Team Bahrain. So we take this as a pride to be able to cover what's going on, showcasing Bahrain's progress, showcasing Bahrain's achievement here in hosting the 33rd Arab Summit in Manama.
Brilliant. And you're involved obviously in a lot of different facets of journalism here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. And clearly there is a lot of consideration given to the role of journalism and in terms of development, in terms of what it means for Bahraini society. And clearly the freedom of the press is something that is valued very much across all levels in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? What makes things so, what provisions have been given to you throughout your experiences, and as well how important that is for the everyday Bahraini to understand what's happening?
As I mentioned before, we are an integral part of Team Bahrain. The Bahraini journalism scene in Bahrain plays an important role in pushing and showcasing any achievement happening in Bahrain, whether it's a scientific achievement, whether it's a government legislation, whether it's a sports achievement, and any achievement or any change that needs to be brought forward in a transparent journalistic approach. Also, I would like to add it's important to practice responsible journalism, journalism that helps to build a brighter future, not to take us backwards. So our role in AlHamar newspaper, for example, we try always to promote the optimistic approach of things happening, to bring forward transformational changes that are evolutionary. We try to always focus on the vibrant civil society in Bahrain, how it's active. We cover news from the parliament, see how our parliamentary branch is active in supporting most of the legislations and bringing them forward. It is very important for us to do our role in the space we are given, and to carry it with pride.
I think it's really encouraging as well to see that you guys take the optimistic route, because I think But a lot of people, there's that general impression of people being very pessimistic with the news, right? But taking that optimistic approach really shows people what to be thankful for, and really shows you that, however complicated stuff is, like, there's always a lot more good going on. And I think it's really brilliant that you guys take that approach as well. Now, I'm sure in the lead up to the Arab Summit, you guys have been very busy.
Yes.
I think that would be an understatement. Can you tell us a little bit about what was happening with AlHamar when you guys were preparing for the summit, and if you got any impressions or feedback from other Arab publications?
I had the honor to attend the 32nd Arab League Summit in Jeddah last year, and that's when the Bahraini announcement, the Bahraini hosting announcement was announced by His Majesty the King. And from that day till today, we've been preparing to host the Arab Summit by having news pieces that are covering Bahrain's Arab action efforts, how Bahrain has been working in its Arab sphere, how it's been promoting Arab agenda issues, how it's been prioritizing its Arab brothers, representing them internationally, supporting them. We have, in the past couple of months to lead up to the summit, we have been putting out content that gives awareness about the conception of the Arab League, about how the system works in the Arab League, the constitution of the Arab League, how the hosting of Bahrain is important, and what messages do we want to be delivered, and how Bahrain's role is coming together till the day we are here, sitting here in front of you.
I think that that's great because, like, earlier we were talking about taking down boundaries for, like, for example, access to, like, to actually conduct journalism. But I think also whenever someone, like, an everyday person hears something like an Arab Summit, like, they're going to think of something like, their imagination's basically going to run wild. I think you guys did an excellent job at kind of breaking down that barrier and trying to be like, this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to work. It kind of demystifies everything. And as a Bahraini yourself, like, I'm asking you now specifically as a countryman, how do you feel about this privilege, the fact that Bahrain is holding this integral role of hosting the summit? What does that make you feel?
It's definitely a proud moment for every Bahraini, and we hope that this summit lives up to the expectations of the Arab people, and they can bring, there are a lot of pressing issues that are taking place in our Arab region right now, and hopefully that the final remarks and the final statement of the Arab Summit would help bring opinions closer to each other in order to come out in a brighter future for all Arabs, and to live up to the expectation of the Arab people who are on the streets, who are working, who are across the Arab world, from Mauritania till the farthest extent. Bahrain believes strongly in an open dialogue, to keeping channels of communication and reaching a peaceful deal. His Majesty is a preacher of peace. He's a preacher of coexistence. And by these values that we would hold, I think there's a lot of more issues that are people looking for. Economic issues, finding economic corridors between the Arab countries, a unified market maybe for all of the Arab countries. I think another issue that's pressing globally, and I think on the Arab world, is the climate and the environmental issue. Hopefully that this summit will be able to address some issues that will help progress this agenda. Another issue is, I think, aligning the Arab roles internationally. For example, if there are Arab candidates running for international organizations such as the UNESCO, such as other international organizations, so we can coordinate in order to reach, to guarantee the success of these candidates.
Brilliantly said. And I think that what you said, like touching on something you said earlier, the Kingdom of Bahrain has a lot of high values, particularly when it comes to peace and coexistence. And going back to that idea of dialogue, everything fits together. It's a holistic approach, and everybody has their part to play. And so to see that put into action, is such an inspiring thing. That there's an open dialogue going on. You have all of the journalists here as well. So basically everybody's involved on every level.
Yes.
Everyone's kind of getting involved in the discussion on some level or the other. Generally speaking, how has your experience been with the other journalists? Because I'm sure this is a great opportunity as well to connect to new journalists as well.
It's very nice to be able to reconnect with our journalists from all around the world, who Bahrain has generously hosted for the summit. One of the perks of being a journalist is you get to travel a lot. You build camaraderies during your work. And it's very pleasant to see them here, to be able to host them, to take them, to show them the Bahraini hospitality, introduce them to the cuisine, show them our old Manama city, take them to the souk, and also to be an assistance to them if they need any assistance in arranging anything that we can help in their journalistic work. Can provide them background information, provide them high resolution photos from our newspaper, or anything they need to get their job done. Once again, I would like to welcome them to Bahrain, and hope they're having great hospitality here, and we are very happy to be hosting them here in Bahrain.
I have no doubt, and that hospitality runs everywhere from actually hosting the summit to, like you said, even just involving people in the cuisine and building that camaraderie, which is a great term. I think that that's something that the summit will embody essentially. And before we conclude, is there anything else that you'd like to add for our viewers?
I am very happy to be participating in this summit and to see Bahrain playing a very important role on the global sphere, and to witness this event under the leadership of His Majesty the King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, and that happens to coincide with His Majesty's Silver Jubilee. So it is definitely a special time for us. It's very near and dear to our hearts, and we wish everybody participating success and hope they can reach to their ultimate goals, and this summit could achieve peace and prosperity to everybody participating in it.
God willing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We have much more coming on this live coverage of the 33rd Arab Summit hosted here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. Stay tuned.